All right, ladies and gentlemen, guys, we'd like to welcome you to the show. This is your host of the evening, DJ Just Jay with Just Dimes ENT. As you guys know, we advocate for children first. We're going to tell a story, and these stories are very important because these children can't speak for themselves, and they definitely cannot defend themselves against the tyranny of adults. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell you this story in hopes that it will bring more awareness to these children in these situations, okay? Now, this was in Indian Trail, North Carolina, which is my first time hearing of this place. Now, the father of this child was the guy on the screen right there. Let me get him back on the screen for you. His name is Alden John Whitehead. He is 30 years old, okay? And he's the father of the child who was found dead at Indian Trail home, at an Indian Trail home Sunday, and was arrested Monday and charged in his own toddler's death. Isn't that crazy? Again, Alden John Whitehead. His first name is spelled A-L-D-E-N. He's 30 years old. He is charged with first-degree murder and a Class B2 felony charge of child abuse inflicting serious injury and the death of his 2-year-old son by the name of Louis Charles. So that's a dash on that name. So it's Louis Charles, or he goes by Louis Gilbert Chenier, or Shiner, which is C-H-E-N-I-E-R. That's a very long name, and it's a very unique name. Not too bad as far as pronunciation, but it's just a long name, okay? Now, Union County Sheriff's deputies responded to a cardiac arrest call at 5917, Sinconi Drive yesterday at approximately 12:42 p.m., which is, you're going to see that house on these photos. Now, they were called to the house to investigate a little boy's death at the home near Potter Road Sunday afternoon. Now, the child's mother, I believe her name is Brandy, I'm not exactly sure, but the child's mother, who officials say lives at another home, so she doesn't live here, arrived at the house to pick up her son when she found him in his room and called police with reports of quote-unquote cardiac arrests. All right? Now, the boy's mother, who doesn't live with Whitehead, told deputies that the child was staying with Whitehead for the weekend. Okay? Now, Louis had reportedly been staying with Whitehead since Friday. So in court on Tuesday, prosecutors told the judge that Louis' mother had an informal custody agreement with the boy's father, so she dropped Louis off at his house on Friday. I want you guys to catch that. They were trying to handle their business because they made this kid in private, so they were trying to take care of this kid in private. That makes a lot of sense, right? I respect the mother for doing that. I commend her for where her heart was. But this father took advantage of that, and I believe he caused this kid's death, okay? Like I said, that's all we ask for as fathers, is for you to give fathers an opportunity. But fathers like this, like Alden John Whitehead, these type of men make it hard for guys like me in order for us to not only get some type of custody with the kids, but to get visitation and stuff like that. It's stories like this that make it harder on people that are actually out here doing the right thing, right? She's had an informal custody agreement with him, and that's what she was operating off of. Now, the toddler was pronounced dead at the scene. Officials called the death, quote unquote, at the time, it was suspicious early on in the investigation. Now, upon entering that home that you see in the background, the child's mother found Louis unresponsive on the bedroom floor, and Whitehead was in another part of the house. Now, the mother called 911 and emergency personnel responded, but determined the child was deceased. Now, preliminary autopsy results indicated this. This is the catch. The child died from blunt force trauma, meaning that little boy was hit, and he died from the hits or hitting the boy. Okay? He would have been 3 years old in May. That's just crazy, man. One of the neighbors quoted this. She was quoted in saying, She was holding on, the mother was holding on to that baby, and there was nothing I could do. And her name was Jamie Quick. I wanted to do CPR, but the baby was too far gone. So Quick and other neighbors rushed out of their home Sunday afternoon to help a mother screaming and clinging to her dead child. And she quotes, "To be so close and to see another child and to see the mom devastated, I've never been in a situation like that. It's just tragic. It's a tragic situation and sad situation." Now, our investigators and everyone who had a part in this are all touched by this, said Tony Underwood with the Union County Sheriff's Office. The death of any person is troubling enough, but especially when you have a child involved who really had no chance and who was trusting of those responsible for his care. And that's what Underwood said. Now, how many times have you guys heard me say that it is up to us as mothers and fathers? We are these kids' everything. Their first and last line of defense. We are how they eat. We are how they sleep. We are how they have a roof over their heads. Everything that they get from the parents. They depend on us for everything that they get. And again, I want to remind you guys, as you guys are watching, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. It'll share our stream and let other people know that we're live telling this particular story, if you guys would. And thank you to everybody that's already hit the thumbs up, okay? So, sources say that Lewis's mother is distraught and now staying with her parents who live in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, on Sunday, Underwood said that there was no, quote, obvious cause of death to us just from physical examination, but at this point, we have to treat it like a suspicious death. And of course, they did the autopsy and found out that it was blunt force trauma. Now, after Whitehead's arrest on Monday, officials confirmed an autopsy performed that morning that he had died from blunt force trauma. The death of, let me see, I've already got that. Whitehead was also arrested on Sunday. This guy right here, he was arrested already for something unrelated to what he did. He had outstanding warrants outside of this situation. So to me, I'm not sure what his record is, but to me, it makes me really, really curious about what he actually had warrants for. If they were just simple traffic tickets, then hell, that could happen to any of us. But if it was something else, if he were a criminal, that's something I'm very curious to know. Now, the neighbors at the scene said that they knew the father of the child who lived at the home and that their thoughts and prayers were with the child's mother. Now, the mothers who live nearby said that the case has shaken them to the core. They saw baby Louis playing outside earlier that day and remember waving to him. And they say they're so broken and the only thing they can do is pray for the boy's family. They said they're so broken, the only thing that they can do is pray. So the boy would have turned 3 in May. Again, they reiterate that. The Union County Sheriff's Police Office is actively investigating the matter, and Whitehead has a pre-trial date set for May the 7th. So yes, we're going to follow that up so that way we can find out exactly what's going on with this story, okay? But as of right now, he's being jailed without bond. So it must be something pretty substantial that they feel like he participated in this, okay? Now, online records don't show whether he's being represented by an attorney, and the prosecution will decide whether to pursue the death penalty after they receive more detailed information about the boy's death. So I'm going to tell you guys something. For them to be considering the death penalty, that means he's probably pretty heavily implicated here. They probably have absolute certainty that it was him. And if they give him the death penalty, if he did what we think he did and probably beat this kid to death, then, I mean, I can't have no sympathy for him. I don't know if anybody would have any sympathy for him. So let's go ahead and get this fair use going, and we'll go ahead and show you the couple of news videos that were actually out there. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And again, guys, I know it's a busy night on YouTube. If you guys would help me out, please hit the thumbs up. I don't even like the fact that people have to remind people in the chat they want to type, but they don't want to hit the thumbs up. So please hit that thumbs up for me, okay?
Are devastated. I spoke with one woman who told me she couldn't sleep last night, hearing over and over again a mother screaming, "You killed my baby," at the father who was standing in the front yard. And tonight, an early autopsy tells us the 2-year-old boy died from blunt force trauma.
She was holding on to that baby. There was nothing I could do. I wanted to do CPR, but the baby was too far gone.
Jamie Quick rushed out of her home to help a mother screaming and clinging to her dead child.
To be so close and to see the child and to see the mom devastated. I have never been in a situation like this.
Sunday afternoon, the boy's mother came to pick up her 2-year-old son at his father's house on Saccone Drive in Indian Trail. The parents are separated, but when the mother walked into a bedroom, she saw her son unconscious on the floor.
The police came. They were so good in attending to this mother in a very caring and loving way.
Investigators have now charged the boy's father, 30-year-old Alden Whitehead, with murder and child abuse.
I am praying for the mother of this 2-year-old child, and I'm also praying for the parents of this man who did this horrific thing to this child.
A preliminary autopsy report shows 2-year-old Lewis died from blunt force trauma.
I just want everything to be okay.
Now Quick is calling on the community to help ease some of the family's pain.
Just pray for this family and do something for this family. It's been devastating.
No word on where Lewis's injuries are or how the father exactly hurt his son. But tonight, investigators tell us little Lewis would have turned 3 next month.
And we also do have a GoFundMe page. Let me go ahead and show that before I show the next video real quick, if you guys don't mind. Let me get that on the screen for you so you guys can take a look at that. Because I'm going to let you guys know something. Uh-oh, where is it at? Their GoFundMe is moving a little bit slow right now, and I don't know if that's because they didn't put a lot of information out there, because I looked for a long time, for hours today, and I wasn't able to find a whole lot of information on the mother, the family, or anything. Like, this is the only picture I was even able to find, and this is coming from their GoFundMe, so you can find their page, and it's under Louis Charles Chenier, okay? And they have a $10,000 goal. It's, you know, a little bit of a higher goal. There's another photo of him. I did not see that one before. And they have a little bit of information here. Okay. But that's where their goal is. So hopefully more people will see our video and we can bring some more exposure to it. So maybe that they can get their goal met for whatever it is that they need. Because I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to do. But we'll leave that up to, you know, people to decide whether they want to donate to that or not. Okay. Here's the next video.
Right now, a Union County father is sitting in jail accused of killing his son who was about to turn 3 next month. The sheriff's office tells us deputies found little Louis Chenier when they responded to a home here in Indian Trail Sunday. WBTV's Anne-Marie Haggerty was there with deputies as they were first investigating at that home. She now has the very latest on what they've learned.
Sheriff's deputies tell me they learned from the medical examiner that 2-year-old Louis was killed by blunt force trauma. And the only adult they know that was in the home at the time Louis was killed was his father.
It is blunt force injuries. We do not believe it's a result of an accident. It appears to be intentional.
Those injuries, investigators believe, from the toddler's father, 30-year-old Alden John Whitehead.
He's charged with first-degree murder, and he's also charged with a Class B2 felony, child abuse, for assault inflicting serious injury.
Union County Sheriff says Louis' mom came to pick him up on Sunday from Whitehead's home where he'd been staying, then found the 2-year-old dead in a bedroom. It's
just a very tragic and very sad situation. Our investigators and everybody, EMS, all the folks who were out there and had a part in this, you know, we're all touched by this.
I'm told Louis' mother is now staying with her parents in Charlotte, very distraught. Meanwhile, Whitehead is in custody with no bond.
The death of any person is troubling enough, but especially when you have a child involved and you see a child tragically lose his life, a child who, you know, really had no chance, who was trusting of those who were responsible for his care.
Whitehead has a pre-trial date set in Union County for May 7th. Meanwhile, investigators are searching for all the evidence they can find to bring to court in little Louis' case. If you have any information, you're asked to contact the Union County Sheriff's Office. Reporting in Indian Trail, Anne-Marie Haggerty, WBTV News.
Let me go ahead and get you guys the next video again. I'll repeat it. If you guys would, just do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. We're about to wrap up here in a moment, okay?
2-year-old Union County boy's death is under investigation. Tonight, the boy's mother says she found him in his bed on Sunday. The boy's father was home. He was arrested for outstanding warrants for unrelated crimes. It's unclear how the boy died, but investigators say his death is suspicious.
See if I can get those in the play for you guys.
Now charged with murder in the death of his 2-year-old son. Investigators arrested Alden Whitehead late today after an autopsy determined his son, Lewis, had died from blunt force trauma while in Whitehead's care. Whitehead is charged with first-degree murder and felony child abuse inflicting serious injury. The little boy's mother found him unresponsive in a bedroom when she arrived to pick him up from Whitehead's home in Indian Trail yesterday. Paramedics pronounced the little boy dead when they arrived. He would have turned 3 years old next month.
Again, guys, I'll tell you guys this as we wrap up, and these are going to be my closing thoughts about this particular story. First and foremost, it's sad that Lewis Charles is gone. The little boy was almost 3 years old, and I would never for the life of me understand what a kid that small and that young can do that's so bad that they deserve something like this. Like, to me, there's nothing a kid can do that's that bad at all. Like, I will tell you guys this, like, I know that parenting can get stressful. I know it can be difficult at times. I know it can challenge you. You know what I'm saying? I know that your patience can wear thin sometimes. But in a situation like that, you absolutely have to either be prepared to be in that situation, to be able to have that kid. Because like I said, for them to be in a situation where the mother and father are separated, and she, outside of family court, makes an agreement directly with you, in my opinion, you have to do everything as a man. As a father, as a dad, you have to do everything in your power to make sure that it doesn't go in vain. That's what I'm trying to say. It can't go in vain, because what's happening, not only do you make it, impossible, because your life is over now. You took your own kid's life, and now your life is probably about to be taken. So nobody wins in these situations. That's going to cause the mom, a lifelong, hole in her heart. That's going to cause holes in the rest of the family's heart, in their community. We'll never know what this little boy was going to grow up to be, But I've always encouraged you guys, don't actively participate in vigilante justice. If you see something, say something. Reach out to your police departments. Call those people. Don't apprehend subjects yourself. If you think something's going on, you call and report it. Another thing I also want to do, and I want to say thank you to my watchers and people that reminded me in the comments section. If you guys need information about how to reach the National Child Abuse Hotline, the website is www.childhelp.org, and you can go directly there and you can get information. You can also get tips, and you could also call the number 1-800-4A-CHILD or 1-800-422-4453. If you guys need to reach out to someone to get these children into protective hands. All right. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for listening to this particular story. We will be doing an update on this story here very soon. This is your boy DJ Just Jay signing off. Thank you guys very much for listening to the story. We're going to get justice for that little boy right there. All right.